What's new in CloudBees CI 2.440.2.1? On March 20th, 2024, CloudBees CI 2.440.2.1 was released. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the changes that occurred in that release. Also on March 20th, Jenkins LTS 2.440.2 was released. On March 21st, I did a live stream with Mark Waite talking about the changes in that release. If you'd like more details around that, the link to that live stream is down in the description. If you've never taken a look at the release notes for CloudBees CI before, let me show you how to get there. We're going to start at docs.cloudbees.com. Under Documentation, click on CloudBees CI, and then under the Documentation dropdown, go ahead and select Release Notes. And here we're on the home screen for the CloudBees CI release notes. Now, one thing I want to go ahead and call out at the top of this page is the Important section. If you skip any versions when you upgrade, refer to previous versions of the release notes for any relevant known issues or upgrade notes. What does that mean? Well, again, our current version is 2.440.2.1. Let's assume that I'm upgrading from the version that is version 2.426.3.3. I would need to take a look at the release notes and the known issues for the versions from that release, the 440.1.3, the 440.1.4, all the way through until the known issues and release notes for this version, in order to make sure that I don't run into any issues during the upgrade process. As a CloudBees CI client, we recommend an assisted update to help make the update process easier. There is a link down in the description about how to get help with an assisted update. Now, to begin with, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the release notes for the traditional platforms, and then we'll take a look at the differences that are specific to modern cloud platforms. So let's go ahead and take a look at the full release notes for traditional platforms. And what we'll notice here at the very top is there is a security advisory. Now, in this security advisory, what we'll see is there was a HTTP2 denial of service vulnerability in the bundled Jetty. So at the core of CloudBees CI is Jenkins. And Jenkins bundles Windstone Jetty, a wrapper around Jetty. Now, in previous versions of Jenkins, there was a bundled version of Jetty that was affected by this CVE. If you can't upgrade right now, administrators unable to update the releases to the current version 2.440.2.1 are advised to go ahead and disable HTTP/2. Let's go ahead and go back over to our release notes. For this release, we have two new features for traditional platforms. The first one is a system for simulating multiple executors on an agent in high availability mode. Now, what does that mean? Anytime a controller is in high availability mode, that controller does not permit an agent with multiple executors to be attached. What the recommendation has been before is to go ahead and slice up that static agent and make multiple connections to that agent. But with this release, there's now a new option to where you can have a static agent that allows an executor count above 1 to be defined. So what's actually happening is it's going to be creating one or more extra agents with the similar configuration. And that way you don't have to go in and do that configuration yourself. Another new feature for this release is there were changes to the CloudBees HashiCorp Vault plugin that added two new credential types. The first one is user private key and also file credentials. In the feature enhancements, there were a number of new feature enhancements for both high availability and also adding in some extra administrative monitors. In the Resolve section, there were numerous updates for high availability, for the CloudBees Pipeline Explorer, and also a handful of other miscellaneous updates. Now let's go ahead and go over to our release notes for modern cloud platforms. If we take a look at this, again, we'll see our security advisory at the top. There's one extra new feature that's specific to modern cloud platforms. And what this does is it spreads the replicas of a HA controller into different availability zones if it's possible. Let's assume for a moment you're running in AWS and you've set up your Kubernetes cluster to span multiple availability zones. Now what's going to happen is anytime you have that controller in HA mode, when it spins up, it's going to prefer to go ahead and put the replicas across availability zones. Let's go ahead and scroll down to feature enhancements. At the very top, support for EKS 128 is now available for this release of CloudBees CI 2.440.2.1. And if we go down to the Resolve section, there is one issue, again, that's specific to modern cloud platforms, where in previous versions, the persistent volume claim that was created was put into an incorrect namespace for a high availability controller. That has now been fixed. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach out to us on X @CloudBees. If this video was helpful to you, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to CloudBees TV yet, why not? Take a moment, click on that subscribe button, and then ring that bell, and you'll be notified anytime there's new content available on CloudBees TV. Thanks for watching. and we will see you in the next video.